So, this took so long to do because basically I filmed like a 30-minute like screen recording of me playing whatever, haha, fun. And then I was playing two games at once. You'll understand when I like play online and see how you'll to anyone that doesn't know Pokemon Showdown, you'll see how it goes. But I was playing two games at once, and then it was like really hard to explain what I was doing because I was flipping so fast. Because I'm just such an idiot. Like, why would I play for like 39 minutes, two games at once? Obviously, you guys wouldn't be able to follow along with it. But yeah, so the screen is paused right now because I was actually in a tsunami. Um, because the leaves were just dropping their water right on my keyboard, and I didn't have any paper, so I cleaned it with my jacket. My jacket is latex, or like it's like this weird texture, so it didn't absorb anything, and it just smeared it around. And then I went inside, but before I could go inside, I had to wait until someone could open the door because I forgot my pass to go into the building. And then I go inside, and there wasn't any tissue paper and all that. Also, if you hear me swallowing so much, that's because I actually have a new habit where I drain like the saliva in my mouth and I just like swallow it, and I think it's cuz I don't know, but it's like the vessels like on the bottom of my tongue that produce saliva are just sore, like they're just worn out. But yeah, the reason why I didn't edit this into me actually playing is because I thought I should give myself some time to explain my struggles, and yeah, I also don't know how to edit or trim or do anything, so I have to film, I have to do this screen recording, and then that's it. And then I'm done forever. No, just kidding. It was pretty fun. Just for a little context of the game, it's my life. I play all the time. There are some points in the video where I go to the YouTube just to change the song, but yeah, like right now, I was gonna play some songs, but my recently added were not coming up, so I X'd out, went to YouTube, typed it in, da da da. I am not advanced enough to know how to put my face like in the little corner um, of the screen as I'm speaking, but I don't really see why you guys want to see my face talking. Like, I'm just sitting outside right now in the freezing cold because it's the only place on this campus where you can get some quiet. There is this little lounge in my room, but it's really not the best to be speaking like this, and yeah, that's really it. So here is when I try to connect onto the internet for about 15 minutes, which I will make it shorter. I'll have to edit it somehow. So, okay, did my first ever trim, took out all that shit about the Wi-Fi, and now I am onto the website. How to hack the government. I'm crouched up on a wet bench. It's pretty fun, but this is the only place where I can really get the most quiet possible to do this audio, voiceover, whatever. So anyway, I connect to first match, and we are rolling. So I start off with a crocodile. It's default, the first one you sent out, because that's just how the game is. Go off with a knockoff. I think he's either going to switch or use protect. He switches guest. Oh, also, I was on a winning streak today. I think I'm going to do like 4 games per video, whatever. I'll explain that later. But use knockoff, takes 45%. Another knockoff wouldn't kill because knockoff's power is 1.5 after when they have an object, and then 1 when they don't have an object. So he uses Aqua Tail, misses, I go for the return and kill it. I'm also choice banded, so that means that I'm stuck on the return. So yeah, I think my base attack for Dodrio is a 225, something like that. With the choice band, it goes up to a 337, which is an item that brings your attack up, but you're locked into that move. So I'm assuming he's going to do some fuck shit, so I go out to Electros, who has a high SP attack already as it is, of 180, but with the Assault Vest, it brings it up to about a 310, 270. Something like that. Goes for Heat Wave, takes minimal damage, and then I assume he's going to switch out, but Electros has a pretty good SP attack, so I go out with a Thunderbolt. Goes into Dragalge, eats the Thunderbolt, but I was assuming I could eat the attack he would send out, which was a Draco Meteor. I also knocked off his Choice Specs, which is like a Choice Band, but it raises the S special attack instead of the attack. Draco Meteor is a 130 base power dragon move. Takes a lot of damage, but like I said, I have the Assault Vest, which he cannot take off because he's not a physical attacker, therefore he doesn't have knockoff, So his SP attack goes down by half, so it's about 110 right now, so I could probably eat anything he sends out. And I didn't really have any better counters, so I stay in, try to get some more damage off. And yeah. Now the Thunderbolt, he's in the red, and then one Draco Meteor takes me out. So anything I send out can kill him right now. Can make the Pokemon faint. But I'm pretty sure I go with Crocodile. Also Dragalge's speed is a 114, which means anything on my team could outspeed him besides Slowbro, but I wouldn't send out Slowbro anyway because of the Honchkrow in the back. He could easily switch out, use a Dark Pulse, knock off whatever, and fuck my shit up. So anyway, go with Crocodile. Anything is going to kill. I was assuming he would switch out to Honchkrow to avoid the Earthquake, because Earth does not affect flying, as we all know. So I use Knockoff, kills him. Now, Simisage, this fucking tree monkey. So, okay, I replay the song. I will play some of that song in the end if I can, because that beat is crazy. The Knockoff takes quite a lot before he uses the Substitute, which takes 25% of his own damage. And he's going to go for some Leaf Storm or something. The music didn't play. Now we wait. I thought he was going to go for some Leaf Storm, whatever grass type move to say the least. He goes for a Giga Drain. Vanillux has a pretty high SP special defense. So I was assuming that he was going to go for a Focus Blast, which he misses, because most of the time you miss the Focus Blast, even though it has a 70% accuracy. But this game is just on some crack right now. So he misses, go for the Blizzard, takes out the sub, and I'm assuming he's going to go for another Focus Blast. Whatever, nothing that I could send out would probably eat it. Better than him, I like some full health Pokes, so goes for another Focus Blast, and it kills me. Once again, I can really go out to anything. My Crocodile's Choice Scarf, which means that its speed is increased. But I go out with Dodrio for a quick little kill. I could have used Brave Bird, but I was figuring he would switch out. Obviously, I was correct because I'm in this guy's head. But, yeah, kill it with the return. Now I'm stuck on the return, and there's Hail, which takes 6% of my health every turn, but it ends after 3 to 4 turns. Now, this Alomolomololola, however you pronounce it, was being a... Oh. Not yet. It was actually an illusion. Zoroark special ability, illusion. You send out a Zoroark, and it is the image of another Pokemon, which would, like, alter your move, whatever, but I use return because I'm a beast like that, and I knew it was going to take damage on whatever, regardless. So I use return again because I'm still in the Choice Band, and this is kind of when the mistakes kick in. I was reading this guy before, but he was just being a bitch with the Wish, which after you use Wish and after a turn it brings back 50% of your health. So he keeps wishing, which is just going to bring his health back and back and back. I didn't want to risk him using Scald and burning my Dodrio, which would bring his attack down by half. So I send out a Slowbro, and he uses Toxic. Luckily, I switched out. I use Scald, try to get some damage on him. Nothing works because Alomalola is a tank and is just eating my moves. But I go for Scarf again. I go for Scald again. His moves are kind of trashy-washy. Alomalolomolo's base attack is like 39, and its SP attack is like 130, so anything I send out, it would eat. So I send out my Suicune, because this guy is pretty unintelligent in the terms of Pokemon and should know all Suicunes. Most Suicunes either have rest, sleep talk, or calm mind, something like that. So I send out the Suicune, let him poison me because he thinks he's doing something, but I can just rest and get rid of the poison after a couple calm minds. So I'll be a tank. Anyway, I keep calm minding it up. Every calm mind raises your SP attack and SP defense by 0.5. So, 50%. So, yeah, I rest up, get rid of the toxic. He goes for a knockoff. And Sleep Talk enables me to still make a move in my sleep. So that means that I could use Sleep Talk, and it will either use Calm Mind, Scald, or Rest. I use it, and it gets me a Calm Mind, which is pretty lucky. Use it again, and I get a Rest, which is a pain in the butthole. Anyway, this Honchkrow is nothing because I wake up after 2 turns. This is the 3rd turn, meaning I will wake up, meaning I will use Scald, meaning I will bring it down to 0%, meaning it is dead. And on to its last Pokemon. Oh wait, he rage quitted, so that is 1 for the books today. I also verbally abuse the people I play. I didn't do it in this video, but I'm usually just I hate you so much. Haha, self-incriminating. But okay, next round. It is against 4 Eidos. Anyway, he is a fat bitch Walrein. I have a Chestnut. Ice and water against the grass and fighting. Not a good combo. But I knew I was going to take the Ice Beam. And I was just going to use a Drain Punch to get back some of the damage he took. I'm assuming he's going to go for another Ice Beam, so I use Spiky Shield. I was correct. Get some health back from leftovers. And yeah, so thinking he's either going to switch out or use Ice Beam again, I go out. I consider my options, which is Keldeo and Clawlitzer, who are both water types, which means that they already are especially strong against ice, but Clawlitzer has a mega special defense, which, yeah, also, for people that don't know anything about Pokemon, which is kind of sad, special defense is moves that aren't physical, so literally, and attack and defense are for physical moves, special defense, special attack, da-da-da. So, the reason why I'm not playing, and I was also going to cut this out, but I think it's important that I explain my story. The water was just, there was trees all around me because I was sitting on a bench under a bunch of trees, but there was this one leaf that was just trickling the water down on my keypad. My keypad started getting a little dookie, so I had to run back into the building, dry it off, and then I sat in the lounge, and it just wasn't a good place. I don't know, I didn't feel like I could be as loud as I wanted because I want the audio to be good on this. So yeah, I get up from the lounge and I walk to the bathroom. So as I'm peeing, I switch out to Magiarna, Maggie, whatever. And I know he's gonna eat the Ice Beam. I was about to say Ice Beam. Ice Beam. It is a Steel type, which makes ice moves resistant against it, but it also has a strong SP defense. So yeah, I was assuming he was going to stay in, stay out. Regardless, I'm going to get my shift gear up, which brings my speed up by 2, my attack by 1. He sends out Arcanine. Arcanine is a fire type, so I was assuming he was going to do some Flare Blitz type movement. So I was like, what can eat a Flare Blitz? And that's, when I say eat, I mean tank it, not take too much damage. I could have gone for a Thunderbolt to take some damage, but I wasn't going to risk losing one of my good Pokemon that I could set up for in the future, so I sent out Keldeo, who is strong against fire types, and now, because I'm just in this guy's head, I assume, and stop saying assume, I use Sacred Sword because I predicted that he was going to send out Walrein. I kill the Walrein in 1 hit, and now he's thinking about how he can get around my telekinesis, but there is no way around it, remember. So I'm stuck on Sacred Sword because I have a Choice Specs Keldeo, so I switch out to Clawlitzer. I tank the Dazzling Gleam, like I said before. Clawlitzer, I'm sorry. Clawlitzer has a high SP defense, so I eat the Dazzling Gleam. Now I use a calm little Dark Pulse on this Misma bitch. And yeah, I should probably talk in like synchrony. Is that a word? In harmony, whatever. Anyway, use Dark Bolts, one hit KO, boom, done. So this is a Chatot, one of my least favorite Pokemon. I knew he was going to use either Boom Burst or Chatter. Boom Burst is a normal type, 140 base power. Chatter is a flying type, 65 base power. So I send out my Aerodactyl to eat anything that would send it my way. Aerodactyl has a crazy high speed, crazy high attack. So I go in with the Hone Claws, which raises my attack, accuracy, and that's it by 0.5 by 50%. So yeah, I go in with the Hone Claws, expecting another Boom Burst or a Chatter or whatever, trying to get my health down because I know it's trying to get me out. And Chatter, Chatter also 100% of the time confuses the target, which means that there's a chance every time the confused Pokemon moves, it gets hurt with its own attack. Now this is bad against Aerodactyl because the higher your attack is, the more damage you take from getting hit by confusion. Luckily, I wasn't getting hit with the confusion. It's a pretty low rate. But anyways, I was expecting a Flare Blitz or something. I knew I was going to eat it up regardless. I use an Aqua Tail, one hit KO once again. See? Got hit with the confusion. He got lucky. And now I'm speaking in my mic, and I swear to God, if I listen back to this and the wind is blowing in the microphone, I'm not making... And my computer's at 5%. Okay. This just shows that I'm lazy. I don't know what I'm doing. But I like to talk. I like Pokemon, so I thought I should make this happen. Anyway, I thought it was good. I thought it was game over. Dark Pulse to kill it, but he uses Psyshock like a little bitch. Kills me. I go out with a Ninjask, highest base speed in the game. Second is Deoxys Speed form, which is a 303. Anyway, I use Night Slash, Hoopla, fuck you, dead. Alex T 123 wins, and that's 2 for 2. On to my third. Okay, by default, like you know, Chansey is sent out. Scolipede, high base attack, and has speed boost as its ability, which increases its speed by 50% every turn. And I'm not a dumbass, so I'm going to switch out into a Marsh Shadow. Marsh Shadow doesn't have that high defensive stats, but Scolipede, it doesn't have any moves that could really hurt me that much, so I go in with a Rock Tomb at first. But I'm thinking, if he's smart enough, he would switch out. So I'm going to go for a close combat, which is a 120 base fighting attack, which I would also get stab boost, which is if the move that you use is the same type as the Pokemon, then the amount of damage it takes increases. But he's not smart, and he doesn't switch out. Unless he thought that I thought that he would switch out, but we all know he didn't think that way. So I'm Choice Banded, stuck on close combat, no point in me staying in there. I switch out. He goes for another Spikes, which takes a little percent of damage every time a Pokemon that isn't a flying type or has Levitate goes out. You see how it just took some damage? I thought he was going to go for a Mega Horn. I was right. Go in with the Marshadow once again. And this time, I learned from my mistakes and that he's a dumb idiot. So he goes for another Spikes. I go for the Rock Tomb. Doesn't kill him. His speed at this point means nothing because, like I said, his attack is high, but he doesn't really have that many moves he doesn't have that many moves effective against Marshadow. He goes for Rock Slide. Would have been ineffective even if it hit, but it missed. There's a 10% chance that it misses. Through the window. Okay. Now, Seismitoad. He was going to do something, so I thought I should switch out. You know, like a G. He uses Scald, hoping that it doesn't burn. It does not burn. So I was assuming he was going to go for some Rain Dance because his special ability is Swift Swim, which increases his speed. Every time he's in rain, it's in rain, so I use a Sticky Web just in case. I didn't really care if he burnt me because I had Swords Dance, but he sends out a Farfetch'd. One Brave Bird would knock me out. I know he's going to use Brave Bird, so I switch out to Bisharp, which is a Steel type, which means that it is strong against flying type moves. Farfetch'd is the worst Pokemon in this game by far. Anyway, he gets a crit. I use Knockoff, get the crit back, because that's how karma works. And yeah. Okay. My screen also just zoomed out, so I don't know how to zoom back in. So I don't know what to do. Okay. I'm just going to have to glare. He sends back out the Seismitoad. I predict the the Rain Dance. I was correct, obviously. I have Life Orb, which also increases my attack. Increases the damage by each move by a certain percent. Don't know what it is. Yeah, I take some solid damage with the knockoff whatever. He had a Life Orb. And then I use Sucker Punch, which has a priority plus. It is a priority +1 move. I knock him out. That means that he was going to attack me, but if they attack you and you use Sucker Punch, you move first. Okay. Now, Necrozema. I have the same exact Pokemon in my bag. But, yeah, I was expecting he was going to use Photon Geyser or Dark Pulse, whichever. Those are mainly the moves that Necrozema have. This wind is just crazy. But, yeah, so I go for a Swords Dance just in case, because also the Sticky Web is out there, which brings any Pokemon that land on its defense down by 33%. He goes for the Photon Geyser after my X-Scissor, which does not kill him. I'm kind of bummed out, but don't really care. Anyway, I send out Decidueye, which outspeeds it because he is in the Sticky Web. Decidueye, pretty high attack, average defense and SP. D, so Ghost and Grass type. I use Spirit Shackle. Solid kill. No big deal. Computer's at 4% and we are racing against time. And I have one game after this, but I'm going to kill this Gorgeist. I have a Z power move. I have Deciduum Z, which that is an item which allows me to use a super powered attack once. I choose to use that Sinister Raid Ghost type on Gorgeist, which is also a Ghost type. Super effective, knocks him out. Now he sends out a Zygarde. It's in the Sticky Web, which means that I outspeed it. So I thought it's his last Pokemon. I'm not going to go for some slick shit and use a Swords Dance. So I go for the Leaf Blade. Luckily it takes over half, which means that one more hit would bring it down. He now outspeeds me, and I don't understand why he didn't go for an Outrage, but regardless, I use Leaf Blade, boom boom, done deal, and that is game 3. I am now 3 for 3, too easy, looking for some competition. Alex T123, if you ever want to challenge me. That rhymed. But, okay, so this game is a little more challenging, shall I say. So he sends out I use Sub. I have a Minun. A Minun out. I use Sub just to dip my little toesy toes in the water, see what move he's going to use. He used Earthquake, breaks the Sub, so I'm like, okay, I got to get that out of here. I go out to Dodrio thinking he's going to use Earthquake again. He predicts the switch, goes for a knockoff, which takes considerable amount of damage. So I thought he was going to use a Hammer Arm, but I thought I probably would tank it by 1% or something. So I use Roost. He kills me. His ability is Beast Boost, which every I'm actually not going to even explain that. His attack just went up by 1. I send out Latias. I get that. I have Latios Mega, whatever, Latios Cementum. which is a item I could hold to turn it into Mega Latios. Use a Draco Meteor, boom, done. Next. He sends out Day, which is a fairy electric type. I thought he was going to use some sort of fairy move, but I switch out. Go to Spiritomb. He uses Toxic. I get Toxic. Whatever. Don't really care. I go for the Dark Pulse because I'm an idiot. But I was just trying to get some damage off. Okay, the wind is just crazy. I'm not redoing this audio, by the way, so this is it. Anyway, I use Dark Pulse, Cryogonal, high SP defense, tanks the attack. Now, I kind of forgot this had a recover, so I was toying with it. Its defense is pretty low, though, and my attack on the Spiritomb is pretty high. I have Pursuit and Shadow Sneak and Sucker Punch as my physical attacks, but Sucker Punch only works if the opposer is attacking you. I go for the Sucker Punch, he switches out, which means no damage towards Dedenne. Now his Dedenne's out. I was kind of waiting for the Spiritomb to die. I didn't really care about it. I was just focused on taking some damage out of that Cryogonal because I don't have any counters against it in my team. So the toxic damage doesn't really mean too much to me. I use Dark Pulse. Little does he know I have Infiltrator as my ability, which goes through the sub. So that takes about 10-14%. Can't really read it. He uses Toxic again, expecting I was going to switch out. I'm already Toxic. I use Dark Pulse again, and now I use Shadow Sneak, which brings him into red HP. And his ability is Cheek Pouch, which means that he can hold berries in his little fat fuck cheeks. And he eats them every time he gets in the red. So his special attack just increased, and his health increased by 30%. I switch out to Swampert. You know, I really thought he was going to have some sort of fairy type move, but I guess not, especially because his special attack is high right now. I would assume he would use Dazzling Gleam. That's usually the fairy type move that Dedennes have. But yeah, he uses Toxic, which is the most overused move in the game because it's just AIDS as hell. My Swampert gets Toxic. My Swampert is also not a Mega Swampert because my computer died. So, anyway, back to the game. Cryogonal, Swampert, you know, you could just look at the footage, even though I was telling you why I wasn't talking. He uses Hidden Power. I'm assuming it's a Hidden Power ground. But, anyway, I think it's a Hidden Power ground. I go for a Toxic. Obviously, I miss, because when I use Toxic, it misses, but when other people use Toxic, it doesn't miss. He switches out to Registeel. Same time, I switch out to Minun. This Registeel, I don't know its moveset. I'm assuming Rest, Curse, Iron Head, Toxic, whatever. I go for a sub. He sends out I use a Thunderbolt. I know it doesn't have Volt Absorb, so yeah. Quick little damage. He sends out Cryogonal. Like I said before, Cryogonal has a super high SP defense, so that's that. I get the I get the Paralysis, which is a 10% chance every time you use Thunderbolt. So I got pretty luck. That brings his speed down 50%. So now, he uses Hidden Power again, and it's super effective, which means that this Hidden Power is either ground or ground. So I go for a Thunderbolt. He goes for a Recover. I didn't know he had Recover, or I wasn't thinking about him using Recover. So we're at that. Now, I could have easily just gone for an Encore and kept him in the Recover, but because I'm stupid and yeah, I go for a Thunderbolt again. He goes for a Hidden Power. We both get our leftovers, and the Toxic takes the damage, whatever. I go for another Thunderbolt because, once again, I'm so stupid and couldn't just use an Encore. But he used Recover again, which reminds me, hey, dumb bitch, use Encore. So I use my little Encore, and that's how the cookie crumbled. This Toxic is kicking my ass, so I switch out, hoping he doesn't use... I didn't expect him to use Ice, any Ice moves he has. He either has Ice Beam or Freeze Dry. It's just random on Cryogonals. Freeze Dry is an Ice move that is super effective against water types, but yeah, I send out a Stealth Rock, which takes damage every time a new Pokemon comes in. Now, I was thinking, I'm assuming he has an Iron Head on him. I'm assuming this Registeel could use Iron Head. So I was thinking I was going to tank the Iron Head and use an Earthquake to get some damage down. He goes for a Protect. So I'm like, okay, either he doesn't have Iron Head or he's being a bitch about using it. So I switch out to Swampert. You see how Stealth Rocks took 25% in Cryogonal? Yep. I outspeed him because of the... Oh, never mind. He outspeeds me. Uses Ice Beam. I use a Roar, which means when he comes back, he's going to be at 55%. 50%, meaning the Cryogonal. This Dedenne uses Substitute. I'm thinking he still has Dazzling Gleam, because it's a fairy Pokemon. Dedenne usually have Dazzling Gleam, which is a fairy type move. Anyway, he, I guess, doesn't because he uses Nuzzle. Maybe he thought that I was going to switch out. I don't know. I use Scald, kill it, boom, boom, done. My Swampert is also taken out with the Toxic, which is so sad. I don't really care, though. So I go out to Mega Latias. Latias Mega. Now, Latias, Psychic, Dragon, nothing Registeel could really do to it besides, Toxic. So, it uses Toxic. I plan on Calm Minding up a little bit, getting my SP attack and SP defense up, and hopefully wrecking through his team. So I get another Calm Mind up. I now have 540 SP attack and 450, 460 SP defense. He goes for a Stealth Rock. It doesn't bother me at all. Sends out Cryogonal. I use Hidden Power, and the only reason it didn't die is because, like I said 3 times now, Cryogonal has an extremely high base SP defense. So I use another Hidden Power. I don't really care that the Toxic is taking this much damage because, 1, the Stealth Rocks is up. 2, I had to take out that Cryogonal as soon as possible. And 3, I have ×2 SP attack and ×2 SP defense right now, so I'm going to take advantage of it. I use Draco Meteor, 130 base power, Dragon type move, which brings down the user's SP attack by 50%. I'm sorry. By 50%. So I go for the Hidden Power Fire to be exact, which is super effective against Registeel. He goes for the Protect, which is a smart move. My Latias dies from the Toxic. I'm at 3% after the Stealth Rock, and I use Encore because I was expecting he was going to stay in. Whatever. My Minun does not die. Now, the only reason I did this was because he either had Water Absorb or Thunderbolt. Regardless, I was going to send out... I was going to send out my next Pokemon, which has Earthquake on it. I just forgot its name. I was going to send out Tyrantrum, which has Earthquake on it, so I knew it was going to be a one-hit KO regardless of what I did, if it was at 100 health or whatever. But he uses Thunder Wave, obviously gets the Pair Hacks in a time of need. Tyrantrum. He uses Scald, which cannot burn because I am paralyzed. I use Earthquake, boom, it's dead. Now it is a 1-on-1 with this Registeel. I'm Superpower 120 base fighting attack, Earthquake 100 base Earth attack. He uses Iron Head, kills me, and that is that, my friends. Pretty easy today. I don't always win, and I don't plan on posting the videos only that I win, because it's important to know that people like me lose. Just kidding. No, but the whole point of this is so that it's educational rather than just just me playing, you know, for people that want to learn Pokemon. Because I remember when I was a kid, I always used to explain Pokemon. But now here's a screen recording of me putting a thumbs up, and that's it. Goodbye, guys.